you have a party who is all about love. Is love, love everybody, love your neighbor, love this, love that. But when it comes to babies and unborn children, none of that love applies. It's I'm going to do what I want to do to get rid of this baby whenever I want to do it, because I want to do what I want to do, but have no connection to whatever comes next. What is going on, everyone's? We are here and we are back with another episode of
Is My Point Valid?
Yes, indeed. I'm yours truly, Brandon D.
And I am Camille A. Stalker.
And before we get into this episode, we want to say thank you to everyone who continues to rock with us. If you get any value, like the content that you see, be sure to like, subscribe, share, check out all our other content. It all lines up. It's all about family, God, marriage, morals and values, those type of things. So if that's what you like to hear, please share this message. Help us to grow. But we're going to go ahead and get into this episode. And the topic for today is going to be
genocide. It's on the ballot.
Sure is. And I'm going to say this. There's a lot of things that the Democratic Party and Kamala Harris and even Joe Biden that they agree with, and that they say that I don't agree with. And one of the things that really gets under my skin is the fact that you have a party who is all about love. Is love, love everybody, love your neighbor, love this, love that. But when it comes to babies and unborn children, none of that love applies. It's I'm going to do what I want to do to get rid of this baby whenever I want to do it, because I want to do what I want to do, but have no connection to whatever comes next. And before we get into it, I want to say this. We understand that there are a lot of reasons that a woman would get an abortion. We also understand that facts show that 94% of the abortions are elective, which means these women are coming up with reasons in their head as to why they don't want those babies, and then they're going to abort those babies. Now, on the other end of that, there is incest, there is rape and things like that. But this episode is not directed towards that. This is directed towards women who are promoting the genocide, the killing or unaliving of babies before they even make it to where they can fend for themselves. And I thought us as adults were supposed to protect the children. What happened to that?
Silence. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think everybody understands the protection of children, right? You see that they are putting laws into effect that support pedophilia, which goes underneath the LGBTQIA agenda. That is
I wouldn't say it's a part of it now. It's not a part of it, but that's the next. That's the next step. Yes, that's the next step, because they are saying yes. Because they don't even call them that anymore. They call them minor attracted people. So they're trying to push it on us. Right. Slowly, gradually. Why can't I be attracted to this person because this is a person, or why can't I, do these things? So I don't know why we are not protecting the children. I don't know why we are promoting abortion, because I remember some episodes long ago, I was like not supporting it, but like if a woman wants to do that, then that is a woman's choice. Whatever it is she wants to do, if she wants to do that. And then as you grow, because I think that's what you evolve, grow, and then you begin to understand, oh, okay, my choice of words is completely wrong, because there is, with a lot of things, if you don't condemn something, people will automatically assume that you're okay with it. I was going to say, there's no, like we say, well, I'm neutral. I'm on the fence. There really is no neutrality in these things. You're either on the
the way of right or the wrong, or, the righteous and evil. And how do you know that you're part of the right? Well, I'm always going to say, well, I read my Bible, and that's what's opening my eyes to see that, when God had turned his back on the Israelites and they were with other nations, they were doing what the other nations were doing. And what were the other nations doing? They were sacrificing their children. And the Lord's like, hold on. We're supposed to love it. Mm-hmm. But in those cultures, religions, that was common. It wasn't uncommon, but even though something's not uncommon, doesn't mean it's the right thing to do.
And we're really trying to normalize it here.
Right.
It's like people are numb to the fact that these are actual babies. These are, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But I think about it like this. You have a seed. Mm-hmm. When you think about it as a plant, when you have a seed, from the time that seed sprouts, it's a plant.
Yes.
So from the time the baby sprouts, it's a baby. Mm-hmm. Or by the time the seed in the woman sprouts, it's a baby.
Yes.
There's no transition period.
Right.
It's you're either one or the other. Right. You're either the seed or you're a fetus, which is a baby, a growing baby. Mm-hmm. You have to give it time to grow.
Right.
And we're not.
And isn't it funny that can't detect that you're pregnant until 6 weeks, or they can't do anything until the 6 weeks? Why don't I know? But the Lord immediately. But the Lord tells us that he knew us from the day of conception, that he knew us, right? But the doctor doesn't know that you're pregnant. You don't know that you're pregnant, but you say, and then what's funny is with the, with health insurance or doctors and stuff, doctors will not see you unless you are 6 weeks, because that's when they can tell for sure that you are pregnant. Yeah. But it's very interesting. The ultrasound. That's when they can tell. So they can't see you until 6 weeks, and then that's when the heartbeat. That is the heartbeat, and then that's when you have the decision to say, "Well, I don't want this baby," or "Hey, I will keep this baby." And I think that's one of the dumbest things that we could do, to say, "Hey, I don't want don't want to do this," because what were you doing? Like I tell this to my children. I'm telling them now, so I'm gonna tell you the same thing that I'm telling them. When a man and a woman have sex, they produce a child.
What you think is going to happen?
There is no, it was, I used to hear a lot of, it's an accident. If you're having sex, a child is not an accident.
No, that's a result.
That's a result. If you are having unprotected sex,
there's a cause and effect.
There is a baby that will come.
Yeah.
99% of the time, there is a baby that will come.
I wouldn't say it's that.
99% of the time.
It's a high percentage, but I wouldn't say, yeah. You can't just be throwing 99.
I'm going to say 99%, because if you have sex, it's still that 1%. Yeah. Because I don't know the statistics on that, but I am saying, if you are having sex, you can or you will produce a child.
Yeah. And it's funny because the place that they're getting these, we all know, is Planned Parenthood. And we all know, most people don't know.
It's not.
It's not?
It is. But I was looking.
I think that's the easiest.
That's the easiest one. I was looking for a new OBG, right? And y'all, it's a little heartbreaking.
They all want to knock off your baby.
But if you look online, some of the places that I've looked at, they said they're not doing abortion. So they're not doing them, but it's still the idea of these doctors believe that it's okay, right? That it's okay. So in my mind, it's like, I don't want to be, because you'll tell me, well, if you're telling me that it's okay to abort my child, what else will you tell me about my health that is incorrect?
Absolutely.
That's just my mind.
And it's crazy with doctors. You kind of got to be real discerning with doctors.
Yes.
Because they will tell you things that best benefits them, their institution, and not you and your health.
What's funny is, I'll share something personal. After I had Isabel, we were on the thing of like, we don't want any more children, right? So we were on a decision that, hey, we're not going to have any more children. Well, right now we're not going to have any more children. And that February, Isabel was born in December of 2014. That February was my 6 weeks or whatever. Well, I had saw my doctor, and I was like, well, I would like an IUD. And she tells me, I don't do those in my office, but
I know where they will.
I know where you can go. And so after all these years, since we were talking about this subject, I'm like, why wouldn't she do it in her office when I was there at her bed? Like, is she there? Why didn't she do this? And then I don't know why. So I'm just assuming it's not, she wasn't personable. Like and matter of fact, she missed, she missed both births. So it wasn't even the doctor who she missed both. So, leave her alone. But she sent me, and I'll just tell you where she sent me, Planned Parenthood. She gave me a referral to Planned Parenthood for an IUD. She didn't send me to another OBG. She didn't send me to another doctor. She said,
I know where we can get you in and get you out.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know about Planned Parenthood, just a little bit of backstory. Margaret Sanger.
Yeah, Sanger.
She is the Sanger. She is the woman who was pushing. She was in cahoots with Hitler, Hitler, and other dictators.
Eugenics.
And she was all about eugenics, which is eliminate all of the
people who were not up here, right? So she believed that Black people
were down
here. She believed that if you were a white person who trailer park? That wasn't trailer park.
Yeah, lower class white people. You were down here.
Yeah. So if you were not, in her eyes, if you were not worthy of being, making something of yourself, then you needed top 1%. Then you needed to be eliminated. Right. Take care. We don't want you in here because we want to create the superior race, and that was the same thing that Hitler was doing. What is the superior race?
And the only difference between Hitler and her is Hitler waited until these people were born. Margaret Sanger was encouraging you to do it before the fetus even made it to breathe on its own. So it's genocide.
It is.
It is knocking off. Genocide is knocking off a race or a group of people to eliminate that group or race of people.
Yes.
And that's ultimately what we're doing because abortions are mainly targeted to one type of person.
Poor
Black women.
Yes.
So,
and that's who it began with Margaret Sanger. That's who she saw these Black women having lots and lots of children. And so she's like, this is the inferior race. We don't want them. We need to eliminate them.
And it's crazy because the Democrats, they so slick with it that they'll give you this as if they're doing you a favor, and women are like, oh, that we can get an abortion, I can do what I want to, and then I don't have to deal with what's on the back end. They're doing me a favor, when in all actuality they're doing themselves a favor because they're knocking you off without even having to be involved with the situation.
And also you're saying that, well, it's the killing of the baby, but it's also I could not find any statistics on this, but I do believe deep down in my soul
it does something
to the womb. It has to.
I've seen I've seen a little bit on both ends,
and maybe not the womb, but fibroids,
all of that. Your uterus. Yeah. All of that.
I feel, and I don't know why I feel that way, because I did find on the Huntsville Pregnancy Resource Center that says that there are 2 conditions that can lead to fertility issues after you have an abortion. And those 2 things are Asherman syndrome, which is scar tissue builds inside the uterus. And the second is the pelvic inflammatory disease, the PID, which is an infection that you can get from syphilis or chlamydia. But if you have an abortion, it affects the female reproductive organs, which happens when bacteria spread from the vagina to the uterus, the fallopian tubes, or ovaries. And then I also, not because of that, but I also think, like, if you have an abortion and then you come back and say, well, I'm going to have this baby, I think that's a higher risk for something to be wrong with the baby as well. Like C-sections, I don't think C-sections are natural. I know people have them, but I don't think like that's for a doctor to say, I need to cut you open. The baby's full term, but I need to cut you open. I'm saying that because I never experienced it, but I don't see that as natural. Now, some people do need emergency C-sections, yes. But when you say I'm going to induce your pregnancy or I'm going to cut you open, this is the day that we're going to cut you. That's a problem for me. But
the Lord was supposed to make that day.
To each their own.
But it's crazy because I read that 55% of the women who obtain abortions is not their first time.
So there's multiple.
And thinking about that, it's like, so if one woman is having an abortion, if you got millions of women having abortions and they're having multiple, just imagine how many babies are dying. And I seen it on a documentary where the lady was like, they had so many that they would have to put them in a bag and put them in a freezer until the biohazard people came.
Yeah, it was about a week, right? They would have to wait a week. Yeah,
the biohazard people had to come and collect it so it wouldn't smell like straight death.
Right. Yeah.
And you got to think about, it says that there is 99,000 abortions in October already, or what is it? October. There was 99,000 as of, it was August. As of August the 1st, there was 99,000 in August.
And it rose from the time that Roe versus Wade.
20%.
You're right.
I don't understand how y'all think this is okay. And like we were just listening to April.
Yes.
And she was hollering.
Yes, you know how
she like to do. How are y'all okay with this? You're okay in the sin of thou shalt not kill. And you're doing it to people who can't even fend, or they can't fend for themselves. So that's a double whammy. We're supposed to be protecting those that can't protect themselves. And then we're not supposed to be killing people. So what are we doing? And then we have these people. We had these pastors like a doggone Jamal Bryant. We all know he out of his doggone mind. He's lunatic. And that other pastor from Atlanta, I can't remember, but it's doggone the Brat pastor, where she had her christening for her son. These people are going on TV and advocating for this.
Yeah.
And then calling it women's rights.
There's no such
healthcare.
thing.
Abortion is not healthcare. There's no way it can be. Health means you're doing better.
Right.
How are you doing better? Because you're not sick. It's not fooling with your mental. And then now they're making it to where a woman can just say, oh, it's messing with my mental. It's making me feel this way. It's making me feel that way.
So
and that is a reason. That's a valid reason to get an abortion.
So watch this. Women experience after abortion, so they'd be like, my mental health, they experience grief, depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, regret, flashbacks, and substance abuse. Nobody's talking about those. It's just like,
so you want to get high,
right? I have to, because you've done something that is wrong, and it's morally wrong. But when society says, hey, it's okay to do this, I did it. And when you have a gang of women saying, hey, I did it, it's okay if you did it.
Girl power.
And then you have a lot of women who, some of the people that I watch, they're bringing women who have had abortions and saying, hey, this is not.
They're going to coach you through it.
This is not what it is. Come have your baby. Yeah. If you don't want to, your baby.
I'm going to tell you what they ain't telling you.
Right.
How you going to feel afterwards. You're going to have a sense of detachment.
Right.
It's going to be, you're going to feel like it's something supposed to be there, but it ain't.
It's not.
Y'all think it's all fine and dandy, man. Y'all keep signing on to these retarded behind policies and people who are pushing these things, and y'all really don't agree with this stuff, but you don't want to be over on this side, so you don't know where to be, so you're just going to agree with this foolishness
because of blackness, because of a woman.
Yeah.
And
you letting other people influence you or shame you into doing it, or else. You ain't black they're really saying you're not black if you're not voting for this. They're really saying you can't be pro-black and anti-alphabet community. They're really saying these things. I don't agree. I don't subscribe to any of it. So I'm not going to sign on to a person who is pushing this as a policy during their campaign. Right. It's not going to happen.
And so Michelle Obama had went on one of the rallies and she opened up with the abortion. Like she came after the first thing that came out was about how men should support what the women want to do, and women, if you want whatever it is that you want to do with your body, it is your body. And once upon a time, I believe that this is my body, and it is my body, but we must make the right choices for our bodies. And I feel that if you watch what Michelle Obama said, she is wrong. She is dead wrong.
Dead wrong.
Because I can go against what Brandon says. Absolutely. I can. But
that's a choice.
It is a choice. But I also have another choice, because I believe that the covenant that I made with God to be his wife, that I have to hear him out. If it is a thing of, I don't think that's a good idea. Will I grumble? Will I mumble? Whatever, sure. But I have to hear him through. And Michelle Obama said, your vote is yours. Your husband doesn't have to know. Of course, I think that's the thing. Your vote is yours, and your husband doesn't have to know.
That sounds like anti-family to me.
Right. And so in my mind, I was like, you're a married woman, right? And you're up here saying this, right? And that's the
quote unquote.
You're a married woman, and you're up here telling married women, don't
tell your husband. Sneak behind your
husband's back.
Yeah.
Do what it is that
forget him. Do what I'm telling you to do.
Do what it is that you feel is good for you.
Yeah.
And y'all, that's wrong, because the Bible, this is a lot of chaos. And another thing that's brought up that is misinformation is that miscarriages are abortions. Miscarriages are not abortions. Women who have miscarriages, their body is aborting the baby. Yes,
naturally.
But naturally,
it ain't no.
It's not
induction
somebody coming in and snatching, and that is not
ripping.
Miscarriages are not abortions. Yeah. They used to be called spontaneous abortions, but it's because your body is spontaneously.
I think that was for a lack of better terms.
In the 1800s. Yeah. Yes, and they changed it to loosen it to miscarriage. Your body is miscarriaging. Mm-hmm. Your body is losing the baby. Yes. And that's not abortion. And
you ain't got nobody down there.
This is different. So when you say that women's rights and abortion and miscarriage, no, y'all need to research what this stuff is.
They using these words to play with your mind. They playing in your face.
And also, when they say about you can die in childbirth and blah, 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 blah.
Man.
About 680 women died in 2023 during pregnancy or shortly after childbirth. Now, I don't know how many women are on this earth, but in the United States, 680?
But there has been, you can kind of think about it, because there has been 99,000 doggone abortions. So you know there's at least a million of them.
680 women died.
Out of a million.
But there's not, but you said how many abortions were there? 999,000.
Almost a million. Last year.
Abortions.
Yeah.
But 680 women died in childbirth or after.
That's like less than 1%.
That's not a lot. And I'm not trying to say these, but that's not a lot.
And we are sorry for those people who have lost their lives in that. But like I said in the beginning, we're not talking about that.
But I wanted to state that, because numbers, figures matter. What we say and how we say it matters.
Yeah.
There are these people are being very strategic in what they say.
That wordplay.
And you can call me, I couldn't think of it last week, but this week, I remember I was called anti-black. That's what I was called. Anti-black, because I was trying to tell somebody the truth. And they call
me anti-black because I'm not pro LGBT whatever it is.
Like if I'm trying to tell you the truth and give you numbers and you still say that can't be right.
I'm trying to help you be set free. Because y'all is slaves in your own mind. Y'all think a person trying to enslave you, you done enslaved yourself. So the work is already done. I ain't got to do much. I just encourage you to keep you enslaved. I give you a bunch of misinformation so you be like, oh, I believe this, I don't believe that. I'm on this side because he a racist. He this, he that. But these same people that tell you this was the same people that was kicking with him, rapping about him all in their doggone songs, all on their shows. And he was the most rapped about person in the early 2000s, and now he a racist.
And I need y'all to look up what racism is, because how you use it, what you use it for. I said
discrimination
it before,
and prejudice
and I kind of doubted
myself,
but we're not experiencing racism. It might be discrimination, and somebody has prejudice. But this stuff here, this is not racism. And even if it is,
you cannot prove that they're being racist. Maybe they just don't like you.
And that's the thing. We are teaching our children. I'm not teaching
everything is racism.
That everything is racism. That everybody has to be nice to you. That everybody has to be kind to you.
We were riding down the street. We seen the president, the heads downtown Houston.
That was racist.
That's racist. They didn't take those racists down. We're gonna go over there and knock their noses off.
Like, people don't have to like you, and if you don't like me, and it's the only thing that you know is that I don't like you because your skin color. Well, okay. I can't
do something.
I can't. What do you want me to do? But if you don't like me because of what I'm saying, then sure, you have a valid point. But that's not racism.
Say something then.
It's not racism. It means you
have
disagree.
An argument.
So you're not going to agree with genocide. You're not going to agree with abortions, with what I'm saying about miscarriages. And I'm not going to say that's okay, because it's not okay, because I really need you to understand. But I would like you to look into some things to understand why everybody is saying, hey, you should not do the abortion, because you're listening to people who are saying, hey, you should. But are you listening to people who are saying that's not a good idea? Think about your health. You know, people talk about, we were talking about doctors, and instead of a doctor saying, hey, let's change your diet, what do? They give you medicine.
Yeah, and then when it don't work or you get side effects, they give you some more medicine.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're trying to, like, taking your baby is not a cure. And the cure to healing the earth is to produce more babies, get married, be fruitful and multiply, produce more babies. Don't give up your babies. And if you do give up your babies in adoption or to somebody who would like to.
Just let them live.
Because there are a lot of women who are...
Y'all pro-life.
Who want to have a child and cannot have children. So give them that option to adopt.
They'll happily take yours.
I don't believe in the surrogacy, and I don't believe in all that. But I do believe like in adoption. And I don't know where we went wrong. Or when... Well, this has been the beginning of time. Killing and stuff. But it's...
But we say all that to say, make sure your values align with what you signing on to, and if they don't, you may need to reevaluate what you signing on to, because it ain't all hunky dory, it ain't all good, and once you make a decision to put this person in place, what you gonna do then? So think wisely, vote wisely. Get your mind right.
Vote wisely.
And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. So, like always, it's love, peace, and soul.
Bye.
Like Soul Train, baby.